start off with this very beautiful topic that you've taken, and this topic is the topic of what you called it as Udaan. I loved the title, though to a lot of people it may look like something which has been used many times, but I feel that this is the right time, the right context to have used this word Udaan by Sonali Madam. Sonali, appreciate your thought. During the pandemic, we are in the midst of the pandemic, and you've asked me to deliver my speech on the concept of what is it that Center of Innovation Incubation Linkage today is trying to do. So let me put in perspective today. My talk that I'm going to be delivering is more from the perspective of teachers and the faculty members who are teaching in the hotel management and catering technology, as well as the students who are going to be taking their degrees in this specific area. What I strongly feel, as a center also we've been trying to do this. What we're trying to do is how can we develop new order thinking skills, both in teachers as well as in the students. This is what is the need of the hour. I don't believe that it is just the domain alone which is significant. What is really important is how do we think in our domain is going to be the driver of the future in times to come. I know in the pandemic, I was just going through some of the statistics and data of how the businesses have transformed and changed from April. So March, I don't want to consider because it was almost around 24 March when we actually went into the closure of a lot of trade activities. Starting from April till probably September, it was very revealing that the modern trade, which was contributing to about 35–36% of the whole space in the month of Jan, Feb, March. April dropped down to 0. May it went to -2–3%, and slowly it is picking up. The same is the case with the other trades as well. And fortunately, when I look at the food side, things look very, very positive to me, because all said and done, even in pandemic, the contribution of people towards the groceries and food items contributed to 26.3% of the earning of any household. Also, in terms of going to a restaurant or a hotel, of course, because the restaurants were not in existence, everything had to close down. It only contributed to 1.2%. But there is something else that I will drive to in my session when I will be speaking to you today, in terms of why this is important and how is this going to shape up the new economy in really times to come. To me, entrepreneurship, this is where I have a little disconnect, because I feel that entrepreneurship could be of various types. It could be a livelihood entrepreneurship. It could be a trade that someone is into. It could be a franchisee that someone is leading. It could be an agency that people have. It is the service that people are offering. So anything and everything that leads to a given kind of a business, and which leads to livelihood, and which leads to trade commerce, is entrepreneurship. But to me, what I lead is not entrepreneurship. What I lead is the startup ecosystem. And in startup ecosystem, what becomes very significant and very important is that can I look at a concept or a service or a product or a model which has the straight capability of scaling up to very, very large extent. So which means, what is the first thing that I want everyone to think through? The first important thing everyone has to think through is the ability of building aspirations and confidence. This is what is really required in the education system, and which has to start with faculty members themselves, where faculty members need to think of the fact that I need to create a very confident, aspirational youth who is able to look through things beyond the obvious. It is very easy to say that look beyond the black box. But for people to think beyond the black box, the teacher or the trainer or the faculty member should be tuned to understand what is it that it means to think beyond that black box. What is that small framework in which I am operating, I am teaching my students. And therefore, my strong belief is that anyone who is involved in an institution or in a college, in the placement cell, should not be a part of the startup entrepreneurship cell. Because anyone who works in the placement cell is paid for a job when he has to align people to job descriptions. While in a startup ecosystem, it is important for people to have a free-flowing thought, which is very important, where we don't want people to be put in a specific mold and their ability to adapt to the changes that come by. Now, what do I mean by saying so? So I'm sure I will take few examples which are related to your industry. And I'm sure that you would have heard of a company, everyone. I don't know who are the participants, students or the faculty members. I assume that there will be a lot of students as well. Faculty and students. So the concept of Airbnb, which came way back in 2008, this was typically the time where there was another kind of a disaster in the world, and the world was facing the disaster, and that disaster was the economic slowdown, which the bubble burst that happened in the United States. And was surprised that this company was incubated in Y Combinator in 2008, understanding the concept that one small thing which was identified by this starting team was, how do I help people to spend lesser? So we're talking about a concept of reducing the investment on a 5-star hotel. So this was the concept with which Airbnb was brought into market. The reason why I'm speaking about this particular concept, not because it relates to today's time, but it relates to understanding of the need of the market. But I strongly believe that it is just not about identification of the need that can make any business successful. What really matters is that a kind of thinking that goes behind in making the businesses successful. Y Combinator advisors and the mentors found that the company did not fare well for the initial 6 months. And when the team actually sat with the advisors for some time, they pondered upon what was going wrong. The technology was fantastic. They had invested a lot of money on technology so that people could come to the platform. They could really understand how to do their bookings, and at a rate which was almost 1/4 or 1/5 or 1/7 of what was in a 5-star hotel with the same kind of facility. However, it was not picking up because of the fact that, so there were a lot of analogies which were given. One analogy which was given that no one wanted to go and stay in someone else's bedroom, etc., etc., etc. But when they went into the core of the problem, they identified this is what we call it as design thinking concept. And in the design thinking concept, one important factor which emerged out in their discussion was the pictures which were put on the website. So the pictures which were put were the pictures which were put by the owners themselves, not having taken a lot of efforts. And this is where the team actually took a set of their cameramen, and all of them started visiting all the properties that they had put on their website. And they went in to ensure that they did a fantastic job of clicking the right kinds of pictures for all the rooms. And suddenly there was a change in the acceptance of the product. So the point that I'm driving is that a lot of times people feel that I have an idea, I know there is a need or a market gap, and this is what I am going to address in my product, and my product is going to become overnight success. This really doesn't happen. I'm really excited to share a different concept today of what really makes businesses successful. Now, we've been all in the city of Pune, and Pune has had the fortune of having unicorns. There are 5 unicorns in the city of Pune from the startup ecosystem in the last couple of years. Though we're not so strong in the startup ecosystem, we contribute only to 2% of the startups in the national landscape. Bangalore is the leading destination as far as the startups are concerned. However, we have 5 unicorns, and out of these 5 unicorns, one unicorn, which is most significant and relates to all of you, is what you have seen around you is Fasos. And I would like to share the case study of Fasos with you for very specific reasons. Now, Fasos, which is started by Jaideep Burman, we had the fortune of understanding this company in and out. And the reason why this becomes very significant is one, Jaideep Burman never came with a domain expertise, meaning he had never done his hotel management or catering technology. He's a person from the area of business. He worked in McKinsey for 5 years, consulting firm, but only for the fact that he was a Bengali who felt that in Calcutta, he grew up with what he called it as a rap, eating rap. Roti mein jo rap hota hai. This is what he grew up, and he felt that this is something that was missing in the Pune ecosystem, which led to the creation of this company in 2011. Now, why is it that this becomes important for us to discuss today? Because in the given space that we are in pandemic. I will also share with you what he did in the pandemic, So Jaideep Burman brought in this particular concept of the wraps of the Fasos with certain outlets, but over a period of time, he again invested a large amount of money in technology in terms of understanding where is the customer catchment, and brought a concept which we all know. I think you all must be knowing the concept of cloud kitchen. So cloud kitchen is something that he brought very, very strongly, and he professed this particular concept of cloud kitchen, where the kitchen was at one place and the deliveries which happened for a given set of a product and for a given brand to multiple customers, and currently they're operating in multiple cities in Pune and in India, and they're also expanding overseas. They're I guess in Indonesia and some other Asian countries as well as in the European countries. So, but the journey for this company, which has become a unicorn, is also very unique, because in the food industry, what really is significant is that when they realize that the product ticket size, I'm getting into a little bit of business side, because people from catering technology need to also align themselves to the business aspect when they get into any kind of, and I'm sure people who are sitting for this webinar are the people who may want to get into their own ventures in times to come. And in the initial years of their journey, they realized that the ticket size for the orders that they were receiving was only rupees 200, because Fasos is not a very high-priced item. And this is where they felt that if they had to move from Fasos to the second category of a product, they tried to bring in a pizza, which is slightly priced higher. But the product didn't fare well. Again, there was a due diligence of what works and what doesn't work. That's why I'm saying innovative thinking is very important in any business. It's just not about business, but it is the ability to think through on a business which makes people or the companies different. And they realized that there was an identification which happened with Fasos, which was equal to a wrap. And this is how the sector or this industry was moving, where it said that if it was a burger, it was a McDonald's. So every product had an identification with a brand name. And this is where the company diversified into bringing in more branded products for the various categories. They started introducing these categories, and this is how the company progressed. So what was more important is understanding the domain, but more than understanding the domain of the quality of a burger or a quality of a fast food or a quality of a pizza, what became more significant is, can I have a different kind of a business model, which is a cloud kitchen, which was the business model, and bringing in the different kinds of the brand names. Of course, there is a history to it, and as a marketing professional, I will not say that delivering a brand is as easy as I'm saying. But they identified this is a problem, and they ensured that they had their numbers right in terms of bringing out this particular product in the market. But they used big time social media, so social media branding is what they used to ensure that cost optimizations really happen for this product category. And then we have the a large number of examples around us where we have the Zomatos of the world, the Swiggies of the world, which I'm not getting into. But I know these are the cases around us. And this is where Burman also used one expertise, and that one core expertise was making the product and offloading the rest of it to the Swiggies and Zomatos of the world for and the other service providers to deliver it. So which means the focus was more on the core and on the technology. It is being said very, very strongly that businesses, including food businesses, those will survive and those will have really great future who will be able to invest big time in technology. Technology is going to be the driver for all businesses, including that of the food as we see it. The new normal that we have in front of us, so the new normal at least is going to be there for next 6 to 8 months, where people will be wary to go to a restaurant and or dine in a restaurant. Now, the second concept that I really want everyone sitting here to think, one is the innovative model that I spoke of.